Okay, folks, welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Doing another Nubeo unboxing today. I just got this in the mail. This is one of these watches that elicit the super excited response, right? So this is one of Nubeo's newest releases. This is the Viper watch, and you might recognize that name because I just recently did the review on this watch, the Viper Automatic. This one's done with a power reserve indicator and an automatic movement. And today I have the newest version of that, and this is another Tourbillon. All right, so tourbillons have come down a lot in price. Back in the day, you probably wouldn't be able to get a tourbillon for under that $2,000 or $3,000 mark, and now they're becoming more and more affordable because, to the best of my knowledge, there is one Chinese company making nice quality, affordable tourbillon movements. So now you're having a lot of people come out and make watches, these micro brands, using this movement. And so I'm going to share with you this watch today. So let's check it out. So nice case Nubeo gives you. I didn't show you the cardboard because you all know what cardboard looks like, right? I don't think anybody has never seen a piece of cardboard before. But it does come in a cardboard box. This is their dive case. Not all of Nubeo watches come in a dive case. Usually they're more expensive ones. But again, I've seen more affordable ones come in that too. So they either come in the small cardboard standard watch box or we have their dive case. Done in sort of like I'd say almost like a greenish dark blue with the Nubeo branding on it. You know, I like this case. You know, I like these more than the Invicta cases. Although I don't use any of these other than like putting ammo on it or watch links. They're kind of handy for like small parts, but you know, it's always good to hold on to these in case you ever, I don't know, just decide to, you know, gift the watch or sell it. But it is a nice presentation. Pop open the latches here, open it up, and there she is. Check that out. So what do you get with this? So you get the case, you get a nice, again, kind of foam interior. These are limited edition. This is the last one in this color. Number 30 of 30 units. Again, that's 30 units, not as far as just each model, but 30 units of each color. I think we have 6 different colors. Pull it out of the box. We have this insert here made of almost like a credit card type material, like a plastic. I like that they didn't cheap out and just use cardboard. That usually gets kind of distorted. Just says Nubeo Tourbillon Limited Edition. You know, your manual, which is always, I never really find a lot of information in manuals. It's just kind of basic stuff, right? You don't really need a manual for the most part to operate a basic mechanical watch like this. But anyway, that's what they give you. And nice orange pillow here. And without further ado, let's take a closer look at the watch. It did come with a hang tag that I've removed already. Let's get the watch box out of the way and take a look at this gem. Oh man, that's a beautiful piece. Check this light a little closer here. All right, so a couple different colors. They do it in the red, which is very similar to this one. Actually, it's the same watch. You just have the tourbillon movement. I think this is my, I kind of go back and forth between which one I like better. They're both really cool watches. Done on the white strap. We'll call this sort of like a Stormtrooper look. I did a live feed on this the other day, just a simple, quick unboxing. I wanted to share it with folks. I don't know, I just don't seem to get a lot of views in general on live feeds, but when I do the live feeds using this new software I got, it's even less, so go figure. But what do you get with this? So let's talk about what I call the check boxes. We have a stainless steel case. I believe it's 316. That's kind of industry standard when it comes to watches, is using the 316 surgical grade stainless steel. Again, I mean, it's stainless steel. It's a nice quality stainless steel. The reason they refer to surgical grade is because, you know, there's stainless steel and there's stainless steel. So 316 is a excellent quality steel. For instance, if you look at like a lot of barbecues you can get at Walmart for like $300, they may not be 316, and I can almost say they most likely aren't. So they don't hold up quite like 316 does. So you're getting fantastic quality materials. This has the obvious feature of this watch is this inlaid. It's not just, you know, like some of the other Nubeos I reviewed before with this sort of carbon bezel, like a forged carbon bezel. It's actually bolted to the top. This, I think, is actually, I don't know if it's bolted or glued. There are bolts in here or screws, but I can't tell if they're just kind of poking through the forged carbon, and this is just, you know, it's just stuck on and those kind of poke through. I'm just not really sure, but my point is that it's recessed, so it doesn't stick up like the other models I have. And forged carbon, this is referred to as carbon fiber on their site, but I'm going to call it forged carbon because generally carbon fiber has sort of that like that basket weave pattern. This doesn't have that. So I think what this is a piece of carbon that's produced and then shaped. I don't know. It has sort of like a laminated look, whereas like they layer pieces of material and then they kind of like shape it and kind of create the shape. Like if you look at like a gun stock with laminated wood, there's pieces of wood that are glued together. I'm not sure if that's how they do this, but it has that look. Very cool, very strong, but you know, I mean, it's not any stronger than 316 on the watch, but it gives you that look, right? We have a little bit of red accents and blue accents, and then the face on this is skeletonized. We have an exhibition window on the case back showing off that movement, and the whole face, you can see all the working parts of the movement, which is great. I love that. You know, when we compare it to the Power Reserve, you know, very similar, but they definitely have a different look, right? This is a lot more colorful. This is a little more subdued. And, of course, the star of the show with this is that tourbillon movement. Now, I don't know which tourbillon movement this has. It looks to be your classic generic tourbillon movement you're going to find in any sub-$1,000 watch that you can find all over the place. I think I did a review on one of the earlier generations of an affordable tourbillon, Age Locker, I believe this is the same movement, but I'm not sure. It is not an automatic, so for those who are concerned with that, this watch is, you can see the rotor flopping around there. It will auto-wind. This you have to hand-wind. If I didn't mention already, it has that screw-down crown. Hand-wind it. This is something you'll have to do when you wear this, you know, probably on a daily basis. I'm not sure how much power you get out of it. But, you know, it's usually pretty standard across the board. Now, if you're looking at buying this watch and you have to know the movement, you know, by all means, drop me an email or comment. I will get you the information. But most likely, it's going to be your standard generic tourbillon movement coming out of China, like most things are nowadays. But don't worry, you're going to have a tariff on these goods soon. Great, right? But anyway, you know, there's nothing, stuff made in China is fantastic, and that shouldn't dissuade you. Remember, people who are into Swiss brands and people who are telling people that, oh, you can't get great quality Chinese made and looking down their nose at brands like this are just delusional, right? They have to protect the pricing of their outrageously priced luxury brands. Now, which leads me to price. This right now, they have this listed on their site for $4,800. Don't pay that. It's on sale for $31, I think. And then, of course, you have their coupon code and my coupon code. So remember, use FATCAT50. It's easier to remember. And you get 50% off. So about $1,500 is sort of the going rate for these mass-produced Chinese tourbillons, right? Which is fantastic, right? I mean, these are great. Remember, a lot of companies are using movements like this. There's a lot of companies out there. Like I was talking in my live feed about Longines, right? Totally different watch, but that they're charging $750 for a quartz watch, and it's like, dude, how do people rationalize $750 for a Longines quartz watch? And you'll have people be like, oh, $1,500 is too much for that, right? Now, do I think this is going to go on sale? I think you're going to find this watch, if they don't sell out, which a lot of times they do. Just like the Ice Bridge version they came out with that sold out like within a couple of weeks. Can't get them anymore. So, you know, again, supply and demand determines price. I think Nubeo comes in at a certain price point. They figure the going rate on tourbillons with this movement or this type of movement is going to run you, you know, about $600 to, you know, that $2,000 price range. They come in at that sweet spot around $1,500. Whether that's a sweet spot or not, time will tell. But, you know, if they sell out, then great. If they don't, then you'll see that price drop a little bit more. Nubeo branding on the side, CNC machined. Again, screw-down crown, which was a surprise. I kind of expected it to... I don't know if the other one has a screw-down crown. Let me see. I think it does. It does, yeah. So some of the other ones, like this other Nubeo. Let me see. Yeah, so this one here... Which one's this one? I don't remember. Some other Nubeo. This one here, non-screw-down crown. So it's kind of hit or miss on what they decide to put a screw-down crown on. Now, just so you guys are aware... Beautiful watches. I don't think this version of it is made in the white strap. You're going to have to get, if you want the white, you're going to have to get it in the tourbillon. They do make this one in the red, just like this same watch with a tourbillon movement or this automatic movement. So, price point on these. If you love this watch, you're like, you know, I just can't rationalize $1,500 for it. I'm not going to buy it. But I love the look of the watch. They didn't get this one. This one here, $2.99 with FATCAT50 coupon code. Link is in the description. Get it. The watches are exactly the same. The only difference in price is the Tourbillon. And let's face it, the only reason you'd want a Tourbillon is because you are a watch guy and you would love to have a Tourbillon in your collection. And it's just another, thing off your bucket list, I guess, so to speak. It's just another notch in your belt to say, hey, I have a Tourbillon. That's it. It's not, maybe on paper it might be a little more accurate, but the accuracy, you don't buy watches like this for accuracy. Even though they tell time reasonably well, you want accuracy by quartz, right? That's just the way it is. So the Tourbillon's cool though, and really the only thing that really distinguishes this Tourbillon or any Tourbillon is you have this cage slowly rotating around the balance wheel. That's it. This one here has got an open heart. You can see the balance wheel gyrating away. That's the only difference. I'll just go back to this Nubeo too. I think you can kind of see. This one's a little hard to see. But that's really it. Yeah, I don't have anything else here I could show you. I have a whole slew of watches here. But, yeah, so now if you're a guy who says, oh, man, and let me tell you, $2.99 for this is a fantastic price. I mean, it is super competitive, and these are going to sell out. This one here, we'll see. Time will tell. But I can tell you, again, the Ice Bridge sold out when they did the Tourbillon, the most recent release. I feel like these are going to their limited edition to only 30 units in each color. And let me just move forward to the price for the folks who are like, oh, that's maybe you're a guy who's like, it's you do well, $1,500 is no big deal to you. Then you might look at this and say, hey, but I feel like it's gonna go on sale, and it might. You never know. But here's the thing: you just never know if this watch is gonna sell out or not. And it's not like they put what they have left in stock. So you might come back 2 weeks from now and see these completely gone. And then you're going to be saying, I really should have bought that. And that's just, I use my example, my Invicta Subaqua Specialty. I paid about $400 for it. It did sell out. And I knew I was paying more for that watch because I have other Subaqua Specialties which are using the same movement, same everything for in that $199, $200 price range. But I knew in that color combination, if I didn't pull the trigger on it, I may not have the opportunity to own it. So I did. Now, moving forward, Invicta did come out with the watch in a different model number, very similar, several years later for about $250. But I was in bed shape about it. Sometimes you see something you like, whether that's a Rolex, whether that's an Omega, whether that's whatever you can afford is between you and your wallet. And if it's something that's going to make you happy and you can afford it, then great. Remember, if you are going to pull the trigger on this watch at $1,500, and then say, 3 weeks down the road, it went on sale for, $8, I'm pissed off, then maybe you should just wait. But then again, you may not, and you may sell out, and you may not have the opportunity to get it. So it's a decision you're going to ultimately have to make, right? But, and that's the way I feel. I don't feel like I got burned by paying more for my Invicta. I just feel like, all right, that's just kind of the risk you take sometimes. You snooze, you lose, and sometimes you get a better deal. But this is a beautiful piece, FKM rubber strap. Longevity, don't know. Time will tell. I hope they last a lifetime, but I have no idea. Again, nice CNC machine case, Nubeo branding on the side. Screw down crown, kind of like a plastic rubber, I think it's more like a plastic kind of what would you call that? Like wrapping around the crown. I don't know. They could have left it off. It doesn't really add to the grip at all, I don't think. But yeah, check that out. The Tourbillon's it's so cool. That's it. Like, really, most people don't, most people are not going to, like, if you just discovered my channel and you're like, oh man, I want to buy a watch, you're probably not going to buy your first Nubeo and say, I'm going to buy the Tourbillon, right? You probably have, people who generally buy Tourbillons are guys who have a lot of other watch in their collection, and it's just another watch they want to add to say they have it, right? And because they are more expensive. Realistically, you look at both these watches, they're basically the same thing. It's just one has slightly different cosmetics, and of course, that Tourbillon. And that's about it. So without further ado, let's throw it on the wrist. I'm 5'8", which won't matter much for this video. I have a 7-inch wrist, and I weigh 177 pounds. Again, that doesn't really matter much for this type of video here, but you get an idea what it looks like on a guy with my wrist size, really, because you're not seeing me. The straps on these for a 7-inch wrist, you can definitely go up, I'd say, at about a 9-inch wrist. You can see there's a lot of extra material left over. Sometimes I almost think about cutting this down a little, but I don't know. You can tuck it, you can move the other loop all the way up. because it just looks kind of dumb if it's kind of flapping around. But just move it to the top. There's a limit to how high you can move it because it starts to flare out, right? It tapers out. So this is kind of the max here where you can move that. And so you're going to have a little bit of a tab there if you got a 7-inch wrist. It will fit you, I think, if you have I'd say I have two more holes left. So I'd say it's going to get you down to maybe a 6.5. Any smaller wrist, you're going to have to add a hole there, which I don't know if you want to do that. You might take it somewhere if you need to do that, or or you might not buy this watch. As far as size, 41 millimeter, I think is what it is. This is one of those cases where I'm going to say, I always clown on the folks who are like, oh, but it wears larger. Remember, this watch, let's just pretend for a second it's a 40 millimeter. It's not, but 40 millimeter. You don't put this watch on and say, oh, but it wears larger. No, it doesn't. These are small function pushers and crown, small lugs, standard size lugs. There's nothing making this watch wear any larger than the size of the watch. Now it is listed as a 41 millimeter, but traditionally when we measure watches, it's left to right size, 41 millimeter, and then we state, oh, but lug width is going to be, in this case, 51. This watch wears like a 51, and because it's got that barrel-shaped case, you're wearing a 51 millimeter watch, not really a 41. So if we go with the largest measurement, it's a 51. We can't say that about even this large round Nubeo, right? Whatever this is, having a little extra lugs, we don't just say, oh, well, this watch wears now like a 51. Most of the watch is just round, whereas this watch, it's got that barrel shape, so it has a lot more size. A 41 millimeter barrel-shaped case square or rectangular watch will always wear larger than a round one. That's just how it works. So, but it is a beautiful watch, and if you're looking at the size being like, oh yeah, I wear 41, it's definitely a bigger watch than a standard 41 millimeter watch or 40 millimeter, whatever it is. So just kind of keep that in mind. If I just compare it to something like, what do I got here? I think this Spinnaker watch is about maybe 42. I mean, you can see, they're both big watches, don't get me wrong, but you can see it's got a bigger wrist presence, more so in person than on camera, but just kind of keep that in mind. I just feel like I gotta mention these things sometimes to people, but anyway, if you haven't checked out the video I just recently did on this awesome ring, if you're a jewelry guy, check out JTV. I'll put a link in the description as well. 7.5 carats of ruby. They have some beautiful pieces, but forewarning, a lot of them are sold out. Like, it's really, check this out. I mean, so dope. I wish Nubeo did some gold and red, but they don't do a lot of gold. So anyway, folks, that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm always here to help. Coupon code and link is in the description. As always, thanks for watching, folks. Subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic day, and take care.